Okay, good morning, everyone. Happy Passover and Easter. Thank you for joining the Policy Subcommittee meeting. It's April 15th, 2022, currently 10:08 a.m. Roll call of the members, please.
Mrs. Bronston Rizzo.
Here.
Mrs. Milbury Ellis.
Here.
Ms. Gravellisi.
Here.
Okay, I had sent out the amendment changes and also another one that I am hoping that can be adopted. It should be fairly easy. Like I said in our email, these are changes that were made within the Masc law and were reviewed with MASC director and also the council to make sure we all in accordance of it. So I'll start off with the first one, which is AC. It's a policy including harassment and retaliation. I'm hoping that people got to review it prior and asking if anyone had any questions or concerns or feedback.
Stacy, my only question was if there was a previous policy AC,
Yes, there is.
and if there's a way to see what the differences are between the two, or if you can highlight those for us.
I would have to pull it up from the website. I don't have the old ones in front of me. I was doing it from the website itself.
Okay.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Let me see. Bear with me. So much for a 10-minute meeting, huh?
Sorry.
No, it's not your fault. I mean, let me see. Open. No. Online manual. Come on, review. Okay, Diane, would you like me to share the screen?
Oh yeah, do I have to, let me just see here. I think I can, there you go. You should be able to do it now.
Can you see it? No? I'm doing it from the website and it's not coming up. What if I just, let me save it and see if it will help that way. Save as. No, it will save the whole manual.
Let me see if
Okay, can I just, would it be all right if I at least read it?
Yeah, if you just talk us through, like I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, that these first two paragraphs are the same.
One is.
Okay.
And the second one, the second paragraph is added.
Okay.
In its entirety?
Yes.
Okay.
To make sure we were covering everything. Because we didn't have like pregnancy related or any of that before.
Yeah.
And as far as the commitment, it is still the same. Promote the rights, encourage positive, work toward more, use all appropriate, carefully consider, and initiate a process of reviewing policies. That's all the same. Then when you come down to, it's just, this one's just a little bit more entailed. The committee's policy requires, policy of discrimination will extend to students, staff, and general public. We didn't have that before.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what? No, we did have. keep getting confused which one I'm reading from, new or old. Requires all school community to conduct themselves. So it's school community and not just individual.
It's not open to the general public.
Well, school community, so
It's the
if,
school community, right, exactly.
right.
That makes
would be
sense.
open.
Yeah, that makes sense because you can't really dictate what people in the general public are going to do, but anybody within the community.
But if they're coming into the schools and
Then-
if it's a school-related type
Right.
thing,
Right, that makes
that
sense.
would be included.
Yeah, I've looked at these policies. I mean, it's pretty standard. I think the
Mhm.
only thing that I would have guessed would have been the changes would have been the categories of people that fall within the protected class. It's a pretty expansive list, from the typical gender, race, religion type protection. So it seems like it just elaborated on those different possible areas where people can be discriminated against.
Well, individuals on the basis of race, color, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, religion, disability, age, genetic information, active military, veteran status, marital status. So that it's a much broader,
Yeah,
which we have to keep in mind. And also any of the legal references, like that would fall under the Civil Rights Act. So any of these are referring back to certain Mass law.
So I did find, Stacy, I don't know if you can see, I think I'm sharing my screen now and showing the old policy. And that this is the one that will be replaced with the one that you have in front of us now.
Right. How come mine wouldn't do it?
I don't know.
yeah, this is much broader than what the law provides.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So I think in today's world where we really need to take into consideration a lot, and just everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone have and I'm not into wordsmithing, so I didn't correct anything that they have. Where's Carol? Is she here?
No, but I'm sure that if this came from MASC, they already did all their wordsmithing, don't you think?
Yeah, but you know what? No one's ever 100%.
I read it. It seems it's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
the only obviousness is what we just discussed, is just the the broadening of those categories. But that's,
Exactly.
it's just, I find it interesting. I'm curious as to whether that's the direction the state and the feds are going as well, but that'd be interesting. But it's good. It offers more protections.
yeah. I did attend something, the conference in San Diego for NSBA, and one of them was on federal, and it was very broad.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Yeah, no, that's good. I've come across a lot of, instances where you're not able to do anything for anyone because they don't fall into one of those specific categories, So,
Yeah, and then everyone has their own opinion. If you don't state it, someone might not view you as being in that category.
Right.
So it's opinionated
right,
rather than
right,
deserving.
right.
Okay, Sue, do you have any questions on this?
I don't have any questions. No, I read them and they're pretty straightforward.
Okay. So can I have a motion to recommend this to the school committee of the whole on Tuesday?
Yeah, I'll make that motion to recommend this
Okay,
to the school
Susan.
committee of the
And-
whole
And I'll
at
second
our
that.
upcoming meeting this Tuesday.
Okay, Susan, Aisha. Okay, going on to ACR. Diane, can you pull that one up?
I'm gonna
Would you
try
like
to.
All you have to do is type in the ACR, or it's the next one right after AC.
I have ACA is the one after. Let me show you my screen and see if you can guide me through. So do you see where I am over here?
Wow.
So that's why I was wondering if it was a subsection here.
And you're on the MASC site?
I'm on the Revere Public Schools website. Under school committee policies.
Yeah, and it goes right to MASC. Wow, that's funny.
Oh, wait a minute. I wonder if it comes like under here. Hold.
It shouldn't. It should say ACR.
Nope.
Can you hit on top, hit doc?
Next hit doc.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, huh?
No.
It's not going forward?
Harassment and
Okay.
looks like they have them separated. Like, so in the old version, there is your anti-harassment.
Where's your, well, okay, let's look at ACA because it looks like it's the same title.
This one.
Yeah. Any complaints of discrimination?
Is it possible that this ACR is the old one?
No, ACR is current.
It's the new one?
Yeah, because it includes Title IX of sexual harassment. So I'm wondering if the ACA is supposed to be the ACR.
Oh,
Because,
that would make sense, Stacy, because so
Yeah.
ACR is actually ACA, which is the one I have on the screen here.
yeah, because I'm looking
That's
at it where it can-
non-discrimination, including harassment and retaliation. And then ACAB, which would make sense to come after that,
the Title IX.
becomes a sexual harassment.
Right. So I'm gonna, I'll clarify. I will check with MASC to see if my letters are wrong or if their letters are wrong.
Okay.
In
The one
mean-
thing I did notice on the sheet that you gave us that's the ACAB,
That would be next, yeah.
I wonder if that would replace just this one section. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, one
If you
second.
can see what I'm highlighting,
Mhm.
that's the current MASC language on sexual harassment.
Right.
And ACAB seems like a much more extensive version of that, which also includes the new Title IX law pieces.
Well, I'm gonna say, let's table ACR or ACA for now.
Okay,
Till I don't want people to okay something that we're really not sure of, not even myself.
okay.
And so ACAB. Did anyone have any questions on that one? Which is much more extensive than what we did have.
Yep. And my only question on this one, Stacy, is if this new language replaces all of ACAB or just replaces ACAB section C.
I think what they did was they separated ACAB so that there's the harassment and retaliation policy, and then this would be more on the sexual harassment.
Oh, okay. So
I
that,
think they just separated them.
All right, so then that would make sense why there's a new section ACR that didn't exist before. Because this goes,
True, but if that is the case, then the ACR would be an adoption, and that's why I want to make sure I do
Okay.
it right.
okay,
And just to let you, can you just see if Susan's in the waiting room? She got disconnected.
Oh, go ahead.
she was in the waiting room and I let her in and now I don't see her again.
Okay.
I just have a quick question on ACAB, on the due process protections, number 8. It kind of outlines the procedure.
Mhm.
Is this where I would find, if I was looking for what the school's process is for investigating or for handling these types of complaints? Is this all that we have to rely upon, or is there more somewhere?
No, because if you go into, once this would be voted on, the sheet that I sent out, that Dr. Garcia drafted, would be more entailed on
Okay.
how the schools themselves would handle it. And that would be a procedure which would go into the handbook.
Okay, perfect. All right, good.
Yeah.
That's so important to have it a detailed, process by which these things are handled consistently,
Right. And, unfortunately, a lot of times people get policies and procedures. They'll say, oh, it doesn't help that most of the sites on our school website, it will say policies, but then it's the handbook. So people just assume that is it.
Right,
But we
right.
set the policies and then they come up with the procedures on how to handle those policies. And those are something that we vote on every August. They'll look at it, they'll amend it to what it might need, and update it to, like 2022.
Right.
And then we vote on the handbook.
And then now we would go to like where Diane is now on the website, where she's looking at our policies. Do we have that handbook like right within that space of, you know what I mean? If you were looking, so you don't have to look in 2 different sites, or is it
The
easy?
handbooks are under each school.
Right.
And they're also on the family tab. So if a parent goes and clicks on families, they'll see the handbook is linked there as well.
Okay. Is it possible to have the handbook?
Well, there'd be multiple handbooks. We have them for elementary, middle, high school, athletics.
Yeah.
But I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah.
Maybe once we update them for this year, we can start doing it. Diane, if you're on the website, can you just pull up the school committee tab?
Yep.
I'm only asking because even I find myself having to go to, several different spots when you're looking for something. So I can't even imagine like somebody else who has no, this is all new to them trying to find it. I just think we could be a little bit more, we can make things better to, easily put the information out there. So that way it's accessible to the people,
Yeah.
Okay.
I know it is already. I'm just saying we can make it a little bit easier by putting all the policy and procedures in one
What I
area.
did with Paul Amato under the school committee, and I think Aisha, we talked about this, just to have more, for the public to have more ideas, like who's on the committee, what our roles are, which they think we still hire and fire teachers, I think. So, I mean, we added everything under in that blue box. So I don't see why we can't have the handbooks also.
Yeah. I just think it's a small change that would maybe improve,
Nope, sounds like a plan. And
right now, we have them listed under families because our thought was if a parent comes on, they want to see what the family information is. So I'm wondering if it doesn't make more sense to actually put a link to the school committee policies here. Because I don't know how many families are going to come on and click school committee. They're going to think that's for the school committee.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe
I agree with that.
So if you have handbooks there, and then maybe handbooks / procedures. No, that doesn't even
Or
make
just
sense.
have another link here that
Just
says.
have
school
another link.
committee Policy.
Right.
Well, no, I
With,
definitely think,
Revere
school-
online policy manual.
yeah, I
here.
do think the RPS should be under there too, the school committee policies.
Okay,
And I did give Paul Amato the link
okay.
that goes right to MASC.
Yeah, so if I go under school committee and I click on Revere policy manual,
Yeah,
it takes me to the MASC.
which, you know what? I am gonna say this was worth $3,000.
Okay.
I'm not kidding,
I
because
agree. I don't disagree.
I just submitted, and you can ask Robin, 17 policies that were not updated since 2014. And all
Wow.
I had to do was send it off to them, and it was done the next day.
That's great.
So, you know, it just makes it easier for Robin, for Paul, for myself, or whoever gets this position in the future. So it was worth it. So now I'm going to get back to where we were, ACAB. Any other questions on that one?
No.
Okay. So can I have a motion to bring this forward to the school committee of the whole?
Sure, I'll propose a motion to bring ACAB before the school committee, committee of the whole on Tuesday's meeting.
Okay.
I'll
it's
second that.
Aisha and Susan seconds. Moving on. Now, this would be a new policy. So we would have to adopt it on Tuesday, and that's JICK. And again, it really specifies the harassment between employee and students to student harassment. It also says, but it's not limited to. In the legal reference, that was revised during COVID, maybe 2020.
You know, I would have liked to have seen some language in here about social media.
We have a social media policy.
Does it tie into harassment? Okay,
No, no.
I'll
but
take
I
a look
think
at
that's
that.
I think that's important.
Yeah.
Employee submission.
But I guess if there's a social media policy, then you could just tie them both in,
But
from.
you know what? I'm not sure if it deals with the harassment part.
I can bring that.
Um,
Let me, give me 1 second here.
written,
Just
verbal, physical.
as like where we have harassment as
says-
described may include, but is not limited to.
Limited
I
to,
think in
written-
today's day and age, there should be some language about, whether it's through social media
Well, it
or
says
electronic
other,
devices.
other technology methods,
Yeah, that covers
including
it.
text and blogging. So if you want, we can make that more defined. But
Yeah, I think it's fine. I think it covers it.
mhm.
Do you know what I mean? But if we wanted to have it in there in black and white for whoever's going to see this, then it may be worth it to just have, in addition to the text. I don't know who's really blogging, but really it's the social media.
The
where we
social
see-
media and, where I look, maybe technology, well, I was going to say maybe the technology word could be changed. I mean, we look at social media and we think of Facebook because we're older. They
Yep.
don't even know what it is anymore.
Mhm.
And they use so many other types of, even Snapchat that's even fallen to the wayside a little. And then they have, there was one, I just got an invitation for students. It's a listserv. It starts with an S. Oh my gosh, I'm so old.
Oh, there was just, actually, can you scroll up a little bit? I think I just did read something that said, that looks like it would cover it. It says transmitting or accessing materials that are obscene, offensive, threatening, or otherwise intended to harass.
That's the handbook,
Yeah,
So that's what I was gonna say. This is the student handbook.
yeah,
right,
This one happens to be the high school one, but this is in the middle school one as well.
right.
And it touches it a couple of times, like it has this piece here too.
yep, yep.
So again, we're setting the policy, they need to find areas, MSS Messenger. Wow, people use them? We really need to relook at that.
Yeah. Yeah, we
These are
could bring
just
this up to,
examples. Yeah, we can update the examples for sure.
We might as well add AOL.
I think we
Otherwise-
should have a category, how we have all these, you know, transmitting. I think there should be one that's just, it's harassing
Hmm.
as a category in here, if that's not too much. And
So-
we could say, you know, make a reference to these harassment policies.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
So Aisha, also, I've been, you know, it's been really hard because of the changes going on at the high school. I did want the student government body to help out with our policies for in the student section.
Mhm.
Kind of get their input and ideas, and you know, maybe whoever comes into the high school level can include some of the students to look at that so that we can get an updated version of.
Yeah, that's smart. Right, because I have no clue. I could-
No.
Well, we
Facebook,
want it- we've been-
Instagram, Snapchat,
Yeah. We've been wanting to do that for a while, and of course,
Yes.
it's been on the back burner because of COVID. We just haven't been able to really put our attention right
It's
here.
been hard. It's been really hard.
But
And
I
I
do
have
think-
to, I had an email, Danielle connected me with Christina Porter. So we are going to have 5 students attend a student representation workshop and give them ideas of what they can be advocating in their own schools as students for each other. So this will help them to be able to get the message out to their peers.
And I also think that, you know, when we have a hopefully fresh year next year that's not
Mhm.
overwhelmed by COVID protocols and practices, that we'll have the time to address this and really spend like a year really thoughtfully with students, with parents, with you guys, going through the handbook and updating it and, you know, making sure that our policies are in line with our mission and our vision.
right,
Yeah,
right.
because a lot of times we just add things and we don't remove the old stuff.
Yeah.
So it does get a little crazy. So instead of maybe 60 pages that we actually need, we get into 100. So, and it is going to take time. And I know our attorneys will help out with that also.
Yeah.
Just to make sure we're, you know.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
was there any other questions on JICK? That I've been calling JIC all week.
The only thing
Um,
that I would say is that I think, so we have the 2 pages that came from the Equity Advisory Board,
Mhm.
and we have the 2 pages that are the new JICK policy. I
Right.
feel like each one of them should reference the other. Like, I think that the piece that the Equity Advisory Board did that's gonna live in the handbooks should say, please also see school committee policy JICK.
Mhm.
And that we could put in the JICK, please see the report of bias or discrimination, that whole big long title,
Mhm.
in the student handbooks.
Yeah.
Right.
And we should keep that in mind
So-
going forward when, you know, when we do start working on this handbook to
Kind of dividing
reference,
them.
cross-reference all of the various policies that, you know, could be used, you know.
Okay, but I did want to give the piece that Dr. Garcia. No, that's not his. Where did I put his?
Garcia's draft policy. This was for the,
Oh, I have it. His draft policy. I want to give it more reference than just putting it under the cross-reference to I mean, I think we need some kind of wording. Maybe bold at the bottom of our policy that says refer to. I mean, if we can put it as a cross-reference, I just think it needs to be recognized more
Sure.
than just saying report of bias or discrimination procedures.
Yeah, and I think that we can say something like, which was crafted by a team of parents, educators, and students through the Equity Advisor, the Revere Public Schools Equity Advisory Board.
Or just Equity Advisory Board.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm just trying to think of 5 years from now when somebody's looking at it and going, what is this? Where did it come from? And if it says, oh, that was created by teachers.
what do you mean, the
parents, students.
procedure that he put forward?
Yeah,
Well, it says it under the Equity Advisory what the team is made up of.
true.
You know, my only question about this policy is that the people that are it's going to be the Equity and Inclusion Board that's going to be evaluating these complaints.
Well, it's not. That would be under the direction of Dr. Galucci. So I know, and this is why I wasn't going to vote on this, because we think someone needs to have the discussion and
Yeah.
clarify that. I had emailed Diane and Danielle just to make sure who does receive these complaints, and it is Dr. Galucci. So
And Dr. Garcia.
Oh, no one said that.
Yeah, the two of them work on these together.
Well, Stacy asked me who all of the title coordinators are, and it's listed as coordinating all of the titles.
So once we get that, we can reword it so that it says draft for procedures, and then also who is the reporting is going to. Wouldn't that be a little confusing if you have two different people doing you report to two different people?
Honestly, the reports, especially the Title IX reports, are so complex and involved and take so much time. That could be these full-time right now, and so it really does make sense to have Richie and Lorenzo working on this together. Richie has the lens of the state laws and rules and regulations around discrimination and harassment and all of that because of his work as Title IX coordinator. But having Lorenzo actually oversee these investigations enables the work to happen. Richie just doesn't have capacity to do it all.
So how would people know which one they should go to?
They could go to either of them, really. They talk to each other about this all the time.
No, but if I'm in the school working, am I going to have direct knowledge of who I should be approaching to report something?
Well, if you're in the school, you should be reporting it to your principal or your immediate supervisor, right? And then the administrators all know that it goes to Lorenzo and Richie.
Okay.
But we have to, for legal reasons, we have to have someone named as the Title IX coordinator, and that's Richie.
That's Richie, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe with this draft for our next meeting, along with ACR, we can get more, like the draft is not policy, we want it done before they start doing the handbooks over.
Yeah, so I mean, I can talk to Dr. Garcia and just make that edit that it says draft procedures for student handbook.
Right, and then we also have to, because it doesn't, in the reporting part, it doesn't have anything about Dr. Galucci. It just says Assistant Superintendent of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. So we just need to maybe do 2 column.
What page are you on? Sorry.
Dr. Garcia's draft policy.
Okay.
So under reporting, the protocol for procedures.
I think it's fine if it goes through Lorenzo first. He's going to work with Richie on the on all of the pieces. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like when there's an issue going on in a school and it says contact the principal. the principal will contact us as well. You know what I mean? So this is the right process. Lorenzo should get the first look at them, and then he works with Richie on it.
Okay. It's up to you. I'm just thinking Title IX.
Yep.
So, okay, so you can talk to Dr. Garcia about that, and then we can meet again on this. And I will get the information on ACR,
Okay.
and we can do a
If-
quick one.
Do you want to approve this with that one edit that instead of saying draft policy, it says draft procedures? Or are there other edits?
I didn't really see a problem with any of it.
I guess I would like, before I approve it, I would like to see what the investigation process looks like. What, you know, what's considered due process in investigating these matters.
Mm.
I just feel like when you have one source that is taking in these types of complaints, and they also have, you know, they're also doing other work in this area, I think you have to be careful that they're not the, you know, the jury, the prosecutor, and the judge.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to have some type of, I just think that there needs to be more people involved with maybe having another level to this. Do you know, if the situation would call for that? I want to have a as fair a process as possible. And I'm not saying that it's not going to be. I'm just saying that when you have one group that is this is their work, this is the work that's being done, and then they're getting these types of complaints, I think it's very easy to be in that mindset and to not be completely objective. So that's my only concern that I have, is I want to make sure we have a level of it doesn't appear there's no appearance of impropriety or unbiased. And I'm not in any way saying that there is going to be. I'm just saying that the optics of it we should consider.
So, okay, I'm just going to say that on the first page, it's simply reporting.
Right, that's fine. I'm fine
Something
with
happened.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
I'm fine
we're
with that.
saying that can be done in written form and submitted to Lorenzo right now. It's the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, but we all know that's Lorenzo right now.
Yep.
Or it can be made in any of these other ways. The way that
Diane,
report is handled.
I do want to see both names for reporting. I would like to see both. People have to feel comfortable with who they're going to. And so, I don't know, I just think it should be both. If both are doing the work, then both names should be there. I don't want someone not
all right,
reporting.
let me just finish one thought here, right? So that is a means of reporting an incident.
Right.
Then the way the report is handled is actually at the school level. And you can see that on the next page, that the school principal is the one who's going to begin the process and do the internal investigation and talk to the parties involved and collect all of the information.
I don't think that's clear.
Okay.
I hear what you're saying and I get it and I can see what you're looking at, but I don't think that comes across in the wording that
Okay.
that's how it will be. It's
Okay.
I think if there could be some clarity on that, like as to what you just said,
Okay.
that these matters will be handled and investigated on the school level.
Okay.
I mean, I guess you do say here school principals and the RPS office will work to evaluate reports promptly.
Because it really depends on the context of what the situation was.
Right.
If it wasn't, typically it would be the building principal if it's a building-based issue, but if it's not, then it's going to be this office that's going to, I don't know if Danielle, you want to speak to any of this, but
No, and that's similar to the process that we follow for Title IX.
I think there could be a sentence in between right after where it says school principals and RPS Office of Equity Inclusion will work to evaluate reports promptly. I think there should be something echoing what you just said, Dr. Kelly, where you indicated that the evaluation of these matters will be reviewed first on a local school level or at the local school level.
Yeah.
It
does say the timing and manner in which we address each report will depend upon the information provided. But we can make that clearer. We can say that the timing and whether it's handled at a local level or at a school level or at a district
At the school level.
Yeah, okay. And then just in terms of Stacy's point about going to one place, it lists on the reporting that one way you can do it is by written or electronic to the office, but it also says a report may be made by telephone, cell phone, online, Zoom, email, text, or in person with a school representative, including the principal, the assistant principal, or others.
Right.
I just think I like people to go to whoever they're comfortable with.
And they do. I mean,
But I mean, I'm not talking about the staff itself. I'm talking about students. I'm talking about community.
Right. And what we always do is people can tell anybody anything that's bothering them, and then it comes up the chain.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all that this is saying is going to happen.
Yeah, I'm fine with the reporting. I actually thought that the reporting form was really well done. I think it's like 20 pages, but that's the standard. I mean, so I think it's going to be fine. I just want to be clear to make it, to show that I'm sure you guys are getting my concerns. So if we can clarify any language, so anybody else reading this can see that, this isn't just, there's not just one person making the decision on all these things, but this is going to be handled by the principals and at the school level. Then I just feel like that might help. It just may help us. It may avoid some unnecessary discussions.
Okay.
So Diane, I'd like to be able to table this for now. We can revisit it in a couple of weeks. And just see how we can, address what Aisha's speaking of. And of course, we lost Susan again. So
yeah,
I'm not sure if she had anything to add to this.
Okay.
We should be able to get this done. What do you think by Tuesday's meeting?
No, we would have to post it.
Oh, okay. That's right.
Yeah. And it is Friday, so Monday doesn't count because of the holiday. So are you going to recommend the policy side of it, the MASC policy, JICK?
Yes, because that would be the policy. His is the procedure. Well, wait a minute. We didn't get, I would need a motion from Aisha if she wants to go forward to JICK.
Yeah, that's fine.
And now second. And I'm tabling ACR and the draft, Dr. Garcia's draft. And you know what? If we have a 5-minute meeting in 2 weeks, no big deal.
Okay.
At least we'll go forward. This is important work, so I want to make sure it's done.
We can maybe just try to get it. Maybe have a meeting like as soon as we can after posting it.
We'll just get the paperwork. we'll review it, we'll send it out, we'll review it, and that way we can have a 5-minute discussion, just like this was only 15 minutes for this
Okay.
meeting.
And I will have, what I'll do is I'll talk to Lorenzo about the changes and send a version that highlights the changes.
Mhm.
So you know you don't have to focus on the whole entire thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I
Um,
was going to meet with him after this just to go over it. So yeah, you can do it at your end.
Okay. Okay. And I do just want to highlight, for oversight reasons that, policy is the school committee's purview,
Mhm.
but how we implement is the school department's purview. So,
Right.
you know, if
I respect
if
that.
this is I know, if these are, you know, what we're going to put in for protocols and practices, we value obviously the feedback, but I don't know that this actually needs a vote of the school committee until you
Well,
get to
the handbook would.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, why not just do it right? He did a lot of work on this and we want to make sure, you know,
Right.
Yep.
whether he did the work or whether we did the work, we want to make sure that it protects our community. So,
Understood. Okay.
Okay, with that, so Aisha, Stacy, with that, a motion to adjourn,
Sure, I'll put it forward.
and I will second. And so Camera Ross,